What's going on, Boston Celtics fans? Welcome to Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Allie Barefoot. Just wanted to have a quick favor to ask real quick. We're at 38,500 subscribers, and I want to see, by the end of this week, if we can get to 39,000. Go on ahead, hit that sub button for me, because on today's episode, I'm going to be answering your questions. You do not want to miss out on anything and everything your Boston Celtics. All you guys got to do is go on ahead and subscribe. Coming up, like I said, I'm answering your questions on the Boston Celtics, the offseason, the prediction for next year, what's going to happen in Summer League, free agency, what's going to happen with the ownership. There's a lot of questions out there. I did post a photo on our community tab asking for you guys to put your questions down below, and now we're going to get into them. All right, let's start this off with the Trumpet Guy 28 saying, #Celtics question. Do you think our new draft picks will be valuable to us in the upcoming season? Phenomenal question. I'm mainly looking at pick number 30 and Baylor Scheierman here. Pick number 54, that's going to be Anton Watson. Maybe have more of an effect in the main league, but I could actually see Baylor Scheierman being a pretty effective two-way player here for the Boston Celtics. Why? He is a lethal three-point shooter. What does Joe Mazzulla love? Three-point shooting. I think Scheierman could have a huge role in terms of bench players because Svi Mykhailiuk has yet to re-sign with the Boston Celtics. He's currently in free agency, but I don't see any reports of Svi Mykhailiuk and the Boston Celtics making ways to make that re-signing. Why? Because I think Baylor Scheierman, he fits that role that Svi Mykhailiuk did, averaging about 10 minutes per game. And when he comes in, he knows how to shoot from downtown. I think Baylor could have a huge impact, but he will start off slow. He'll start off in Summer League, which is this upcoming weekend. Then he'll be a two-way player, and he'll start to develop with the Boston Celtics. But never count out Joe Mazzulla, who loves the three ball more than any NBA coach, other than Steve Kerr, I would say, I have seen in quite some time. So keep an eye out for Baylor. The next question that is coming up comes from Celtics 0736, and here's what's so sweet about this question is that they're asking, do any of you feel bad for Marcus Smart, that he isn't here to win Banner 18? And I love that Marcus Smart is in his picture on YouTube. I mean, obviously, this is a Celtics fan, but more importantly, a Marcus Smart fan. And I'm going to be honest, it stung a little bit. It's hard when you see Jayson Tatum and Brown hoisting up the Larry O'Brien trophy because you know that they work so hard to get that. But Marcus Smart was a huge part of that for several years in Boston. And I recently saw an interview with Marcus Smart talking about how he's just so proud of the Jays for what they've done. He's just so proud that they brought another championship to Boston, and he just absolutely feels nothing but love for the city of Boston. I would always love to bring back Marcus Smart, but unfortunately with how the luxury tax bill works here for the Celtics and what Marcus Smart's payroll looks like, I don't think it's going to add up. But I know Marcus Smart has nothing but love for Celtics fans in his heart. I hope they can do something special for him. I know you can't give him a ring. He wasn't on the team, but maybe a tribute next time he comes back, as he was injured playing for the Memphis Grizzlies this last year. Hopefully when he comes back, that tribute can be extra special. He can get a standing ovation as if he just won the Larry O'Brien trophy. All right, another question coming in here from Fortune 5. This guy, love him. Constantly on our live streams, constantly in our comments. Thank you guys so much for all your comments you have here. And we recently talked about who serves as the biggest threat for the Boston Celtics in the NBA Eastern Conference. Why? Because the Celtics were 12, 13 games ahead of everybody this last year in the Eastern Conference, with the closest team being the New York Knicks and the Milwaukee Bucks. But since then, Bridges has now gone to the Knicks. Paul George has now gone to the Sixers. So the question here is, I think the Sixers and the Knicks will be just like last year and not even be competition to the Celtics. Here's why I love Celtics fans, man. When I posted that video, which if you want to go check it out, it's on Celtics Today by Chat Sports, I asked who was the biggest opponent, who's the biggest threat to the Celtics, the Sixers or the Knicks? And you guys said the biggest threat to the Celtics is the Boston Celtics. It's me versus me out here. And I'm going to be honest, I think the Knicks are a bigger threat. I think Paul George has some injury history. I don't know how he works. I've seen this story before, bringing an NBA All-Star in a Paul George to the team to play with MVP candidate Joel Embiid. I saw this with Harden not but 2-3 years ago, and it sunk. I don't think they'll change. Does Paul George make them better? Absolutely. Enough to beat the Celtics? I don't know. The Knicks, however, they have a very tough backcourt, not so much front court. They did lose Isaiah Hartenstein in NBA free agency, so I'm still taking the Celtics over everybody. But what do you guys think? Pick a team to play. Philadelphia 76ers, type 76ers in the comment section below. Tell me why you guys are afraid of them or not afraid of them. New York Knicks, type NYK. I know Bridges makes them tough. I know re-signing OG Anunoby is a little bit scary, but I know the Celtics can take it, get it done, and get it handled. Go on ahead, comment that down below. Shy Jr., which by his picture I am guessing has to do with something of Shy Guy from Mario. Hashtag Celtics. Do you think the Celtics can get the number 1 seed next year? And I love this because it kind of flows in there with the Eastern Conference, is that yes, I do still think the Boston Celtics are the most elite roster in the NBA, especially in the Eastern Conference. Like I said, the Knicks, they scare me a little bit. I'm allowed to say that. But I do think with the Boston Celtics literally returning all of the players, 11 of 12 that won them a ring, why could they not do it again? You just did it. And not to mention, you dominated. You were the first team in the NBA to clinch a playoff seed, and you did it in March. While all these other teams, including the Knicks, had to wait until late April. So yes, I do think the Boston Celtics can get the number 1 seed next year. I'm still intrigued to see if Brad Stevens will do anything externally for the C's, if he brings in any other NBA player from an outside team, because as of right now, he has re-signed 3 players who entered free agency, and he has extended Jayson Tatum and Derrick White in NBA offseason. So I would be intrigued to see what Stevens does here, but if he doesn't make any other moves, I think the Celtics could absolutely be number 1 next year. Allie's burner, who is she? She sounds fun. Which NBA free agent do you want the Celtics to sign? Well, I made a video about former Boston Celtics players I would like to see on the vet minimum, and Javonte Green kind of came into play here. A little washed up, but he did sign a 10-day contract with the Bulls last year, and he popped off 12 points per game in 9 games. I mean, he did damage. I thought he'd be very cool. I love a good Gordon Hayward. Same thing. He's extremely washed up. But a vet minimum player, it doesn't hurt, because that's the problem. The Celtics have no gosh darn money. They can't go out there and get a big-time player like a Marcus Smart or a Robert Williams. So you got to look at vet minimum type of guys and to see who else is left. The number 1 guy, though, I would like to pick up in free agency is Justin Holiday. Yes, Drew's older brother. I think he is a defensive menace. I think he's a great two-way player. He's a good 3-and-D type of guy. Why not go out and get it and make this a family affair? Add Drew Holiday with Justin Holiday and just keep adding on with the Holidays in Boston. Another question coming in back from the trumpet guy. Actually, not a question. It's a hot take. This will be the year that Tatum excels in the NBA and silences the haters. A lot of those haters, actually, the trumpet guy, are in this office at Chat Sports. Believe it or not, they are big, fat Jayson Tatum haters. I think everything he did this year could absolutely shut up the haters, but ESPN and other NBA networks do have a different story to tell. Every time I would see the Boston Celtics won, it would be, but is Tatum doing enough? He's only averaging a double-double in the NBA playoffs. It is exhausting. But yes, I do agree. I think that now Jayson Tatum has that Larry O'Brien trophy. It now puts him in a different category. You can now start talking about him in the greats because he's got the ring. Any player that has been kept out of the greats conversation doesn't have a ring. So he's got that. And you know Jayson Tatum, after he won the NBA Finals, all he was shouting is, what are they going to say now? I'm sure they're going to find something, but I do think Jayson Tatum, who was the face of the franchise, led the Boston Celtics in points, rebounds, assists, in the NBA playoffs. I think he's going to separate himself next year as well. What are you guys thinking, though? Will Jayson Tatum be an MVP contender next year? Comment why you think he will, or comment why you think he won't, as he was a little bit towards the beginning of last season, but he kind of fell off as his numbers started to fall. So let me know what you guys think. As always, comment it down below, like the video, and subscribe.